Hello everyone, and welcome to the Peddling Prince's Podium. I'm your host, John Madeline. In a previous episode, I talked about how horrible the condition of the roads are here in the Cape Breton Regional Municipality. And there were some people that basically said to me that perhaps I'm complaining too much. But then I saw the following letter in the March 29th edition of the Cape Breton Post. Now, I guarantee that the man in that letter is not exaggerating. I've ridden in rural areas of Cape Breton with fellow Cape Breton before, and there are a lot of roads that fit that description. I mean, we're not just talking a few potholes. I mean that these roads look like somebody took up the pavement and put in cobblestones. There are cracks and potholes and ruts and all across the entire width of the road. There's no way to completely avoid them. Now, as an example, let's take a look here out in front of my building. Yes, I know, we're just coming out of winter, and of course all these potholes are going to be filled in. But I mean, filling in the potholes is only a band-aid fix. Most of these roads, particularly the one like described in the previous letter, need complete and total resurfacing. Now, I'm not the only one that has these problems. Bicycles just happen to be the most vulnerable vehicles, but motorists are having problems as well.
I never flattened a tire and that, but like I said, there was once that I think my fender, the pothole was that deep that my fender, I think, hit the darn pavement. Didn't cause any damage, but I know of people that did. A friend of mine flattened 3 tires this winter. Yeah, she flattened 3 tires between the winter and the spring. One of them I know was right on Alexander Street where she lives. The other 2 I don't know where. Down around George Street, where you can see the I think it's George Street down around the Cape Breton Post area, I think it is, or up around Charlotte Street. There's a few areas down there that you can actually see the cobblestones from the 1900s. You know, that's not good. But that street I'd like for everybody, and John Morgan included, to go take a drive up, Sunset, Wiedener Drive, and go to that area I'm talking about. Your only 2 options are potholes or ditch.
Now here's another example at the intersection of York and Charlotte Streets. I mean, at this point, this road has got so many holes in it that it's hard for anybody to even get by. And on a road bike, forget it. Now, some may argue that York is a low-traffic street. Nobody's coming along at a high rate of speed, so they say, well, we can afford to leave it like this for a little while and prioritize the higher traffic streets. Okay, fine. But that doesn't explain the condition of Charlotte Street, which is probably one of the highest traffic streets we have in downtown Sydney. Even the North End gets a fair amount of traffic. Now, Bentinck Street is a high-traffic road. Despite its small size, it carries a lot of traffic because it runs directly parallel to George and Charlotte, our main arteries in Sydney. And the fact is, at this point, the condition of it is so bad that it's, on a bicycle particularly, it's almost impossible to stop cleanly at intersections. Probably the worst spot on Bentinck is the intersection of Wentworth and Bentinck. I mean, look at these potholes. When I'm on the bike, it's almost impossible to stop cleanly at the stop sign. And even if I can, I have to be dancing all over the road just to find my way to a place where I can ride without damaging my wheels. And I'm sure that, considering the size of these potholes, people driving motor vehicles face much the same kind of challenge. Even major roads like King's Road are starting to develop problems. And that's particularly problematic considering that King's Road was recently, only about 5 years ago, torn up completely and completely resurfaced. And look at it now. I mean, we got potholes, we got ruts that are caused by all the studded tires. We've got a lot of problems on this road, and this is only in less than a decade. Now, I'm walking to work today specifically to shoot this show, but I can't count the number of times I had to walk to work because I had a broken spoke or a flat tire or any other kind of damage to my bike that was caused by hitting one of these bloody cracks and potholes. Another thing that's causing a lot of unnecessary damage on our roads are studded tires. Now, I understand that drivers need more traction in the winter. Heck, I ride a bicycle all through the winter, so if anyone knows what traction is like on the roads, I do. But the fact is, riding the bike, I've also noticed that it's very rare you ever see any glare ice on the roads. Actually, they're pretty good, the Cape Breton Region Municipality, about keeping the roads clear of ice, and studded tires are really only useful on glare ice. On bare pavement, they actually give less traction than a conventional set of winter tires. So why don't we use ordinary winter tires that'll do less damage to the road and actually give better traction on the bare pavement, which is what we often have, and good and excellent traction in snow as well. And on top of that, the regular winter tires won't do so much damage to the road, and we won't have so many repairs to do when the spring comes in the first place. Some people say I complain too much. Well, you know what? I have reason to complain. And so does everyone else who lives on this island. Why are you telling me not to complain? Why aren't you joining me and adding your voice to my complaint? If enough of us say something, maybe something will get done. Do I seem angry here? You're damn right I'm angry. People wonder why I say I hate money. Well, this is why. Because everything always comes down to money. We can't repair the roads. We don't have enough money. We can't keep seniors complexes up. We don't have enough money. We can't keep our transit system working properly. We can't keep the buses in repair. We don't have enough runs. We don't have enough money. The thing is, I'm not blaming the people who run transit. I'm not blaming the people who repair the roads. I'm not blaming any of the individuals. Because again, it's the money problem. So where the heck does all this money come from? We're in an economic slump. I understand that. But how the heck are we going to get out of it? People can't even get around because the roads are so freaking full of holes. The reason this is upsetting me so much is because it's getting discouraging. There are so many problems with the roads now, it's hard for me to imagine how the heck they're going to approach this problem to begin with. Where do you start? There is the old saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And that's why I'm doing this show today, and why I'm hoping that my viewers, those who live in Cape Breton, and those who don't, for that matter, can talk to our government and start talking about, like, we got an election coming up? Good. Maybe this is something they could look at, because we need some serious infrastructure renewal here. They've been talking about putting in the bike lanes on George Street. I'm not a big fan of bike lanes anyway, but even if I was, I think it's more important that we repair the surface of the roads we have before we start doing things like that. Once our roads are repaired, then we can start looking at bicycle-specific infrastructure. But it's not going to be safe to ride a bike on a road that's full of potholes, whether or not there's a light bike lane stripe there. I don't know what the solution to this problem is any more than anyone else does. But one thing I do know, if we don't say anything and don't do anything at all, it's certainly not going to solve itself. Thank you for watching the Pedaling Princess Podium. I'm your host, John Madeline, and I hope to see you all again here next week. Bye for now.